Hi friends. So just a short video here today. Recently I was doing some video editing on my smartphone, my iPhone, likely making a video for the channel or doing some modifications on a video. And it just hit me just how much we depend and use our smartphones and our cell phones for these days. I was struck by thinking about all the things that had been replaced through the years. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, all we had were landlines, phones connected to a hard wire out to the telephone company somewhere through a CO, and it was a completely different experience than people are going through these days, having a phone and access to the world in their pockets. So I thought I'd go through some of the things that came to my mind. After I thought about that, I began thinking about the things that have been replaced through the years by a cell phone and what we use them for now that we used to use something different to accomplish a task. So the first thing that came to my mind as to something that's been replaced by cell phones was the rotary phone. In fact, it had already been replaced before cell phones by the digital phone. But in our household back in the 60s, 70s, and early 80s, we had rotary phones. And we had one phone line, 3 or 4 handsets throughout the house. And with that, if you were on a call and someone else in the house picked up a handset to make a call, or maybe they knew you were on a call and wanted to listen in, they could until you got them off. But we had the handset that sat on the table, similar to this one. Then we also had a wall mount unit in the kitchen, and I think ours was light beige. And I remember when we first got that phone, the cord hung down from the unit. It was probably 3-4 feet long if you stretched it out end to end. I bet that thing was 100 yards long. By the time that phone got worn out, that cord had been pulled into 4 or 5 different rooms down the house. I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but we used that phone, and you would pull it off into another room and get huddled up and have a nice little conversation with your friends or your girlfriend, trying to get a little privacy. It was hard to do back in those days, but rotary phones, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Another thing that was replaced by the cell phone, and not completely, there are still people that are into stereos. So I was a big stereo kid. I think I had the J.C. Penney all-in-one model. I got it for Christmas one year. Santa brought it to me. I was really excited. It had a cassette player. It had the radio tuner. It had, I think, even had an 8-track, and it had a turntable and a little dust cover for the top. I was really, really happy to have that because then finally I could listen to my favorite band, Kiss, with the records. And I'm going to do a video about an experience I had with Kiss and my father. So look forward to that. That'll be down the road here a little bit. But stereos. I know there are a lot of people that still are into stereos and the big speakers and sound systems and all. But I would have to believe, and I haven't looked up any stats, that most people listen to their music through their cell phone or some other digital device. I know that I do, although sometimes I do listen to music through our computer that's connected to our TV. But if you really want some solitude with your music, most people are relying on those cell phones, their smartphones. And, the sound is really good through some of the nicer ear components that they have. The Beats, I think, is one that's really, really popular, really, really good. So, stereos was another thing that came to my mind. And then this one, paper folding maps. I know all of you that were born in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. You guys remember those folding paper maps. Your dad probably had probably 5 or 10 of those in the glove box of every car that you owned. And when you would take off on a trip, somebody would be over in the passenger seat with it unfurled. It was the same here. My family and I would take trips to Florida in the summertime, and my mother would usually be in the passenger seat, my father driving, and I can't count the times that I remember my mother having that thing unfolded over there in the passenger seat. You can barely see out the window, and my father's asking her, what road? What road am I looking for? And oh, that's a great time passed. But yeah, the folding Gulf. I don't know, Gulf Oil. The Gulf Oil Company, Gulf Gasoline. I think they were the most prevalent. I just remember those were the brand that we would always have in the glove box of our cars. But yeah, folding maps for all 50 states. I don't know if you would need one actually to get from the United States proper to Hawaii, but maybe when you got there you would need one. But yeah, folding maps was something that came to my mind. And lastly, but I'm sure not even close to being what's been replaced by cell phones, but the last thing that was on my mind when I was thinking about this topic, calculators. And I remember, I don't know what year it was. I think it was late 70s, early 80s. My mother came home from the grocery store with a calculator, and we had never actually used or had a calculator. This was the first one. It was, I believe it was it was a Novus. And I'll show it here on the screen. In fact, the one I'm showing right now, is the calculator version that my mother brought home from the store after a shopping night or evening, buying groceries for the family. She picked that up, and we were so excited to see this thing and begin using it. And this one right here is really special to me. When I saw it, when I was thinking about this topic, I went looking for it and I found it. And yeah, that was the one. And we were all, of course, for the first few days, we were kids. We were all kind of fighting over it. Who can use it now? I want to do my homework. Can I use it on a test? And yeah, I don't. Back then, they wouldn't let you use a calculator on the test. Back in those days, I think they do now. But we're way more advanced now, right? This is what this video is about. The smartphones. Yeah, we've come a long way. But yeah, calculators were a real neat thing that came on the scene when I was young. If I couldn't get my hands on the Novus calculator, perhaps my brother, sister were using it, there was always the failsafe, and that was the little professor. We had one of these too. It's really a toy. However, it did math equations, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. And I do remember going back and getting that out of the toy box when I needed it to use maybe for a homework assignment. I might have used that thing all the way through high school. I don't know, but hey, whatever's necessary, right? Well, with that, I just want to say how fortunate that we are to have the technologies that we do today. I'm completely blown away. Even though I spent my entire career in technology, it still is astounding to me how far we have come in such a short period of time. In fact, your phone is a TV as well. I just thought of that. I was about to wrap up this video, and I thought, you're watching YouTube videos, you're watching other streaming services on this phone. You get live feeds from live games and live events. So there's very little that your smartphone can't do that it took a number of other devices to do through the years. Well, with that, hey, thank you for joining. This is Chris with your Weekender, and I will see you next time. Cheers.